Hey, welcome to The Explainer. You know, we all communicate every single day. But in the business world, it's way more than just a skill, it's a high-stakes asset. Today, we're digging into a source that actually puts a price tag on our words, and it argues that how we communicate has a direct, and frankly, a pretty shocking impact on the bottom line. We all kind of know that good communication is important, right? But the source we're looking at today forces us to ask a much harder question. What is the actual real dollar cost when it all falls apart? You know, when an email gets completely misunderstood, or a big presentation just fails to land. What's the real damage? And the number they come back with is, well, it's staggering. We're talking up to $1.2 trillion every year, and that's just in US businesses. The argument here is that this isn't some small rounding error. It's a gigantic, unmanaged cost that's just hiding in plain sight. Okay, so $1 trillion is a number that's pretty much impossible to get your head around. So the source breaks it down to a figure that hits a lot closer to home. $12,506 per employee every single year. And suddenly that huge abstract problem becomes a very real, very tangible leak in pretty much every team's budget. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the sheer scale of the crisis, then we'll dive into the neuroscience behind what makes someone influential. After that, we'll unpack a specific toolkit for persuasion, calculate the return on investment, and wrap it all up with the ultimate takeaway. All right, first up, the $1 trillion silence. This part of the material is all about putting hard numbers on what it costs, both financially and in your career when you're not communicating effectively. And this is where you can really see how the damage adds up. It's not just one thing. You've got that massive top-line business loss, sure, but then you've got that $12,000 hit for every employee, the huge cost of replacing people who leave, and a potential productivity drop of up to a quarter. It's like a bunch of different leaks all coming from the same broken pipe. Now, this is where the argument gets really clever. It taps into a super powerful psychological trigger called loss aversion. Basically, we feel the sting of a loss about twice as much as we feel the joy of a gain. So this isn't framed as some future opportunity you could get. No, it's framed as an active, ongoing loss you're suffering right now. Suddenly, doing nothing becomes the most expensive choice you can make. And the cost isn't just to the organization, it's personal. It's about your career. The source points to data showing that people with strong communication skills get promoted 11% faster. This totally reframes the problem. For anyone who's ambitious, weak communication isn't just a flaw. It's a very real career ceiling. So once the problem's been laid out, the source shifts gears to the cause. And the argument is, this isn't about learning a few new PowerPoint tricks. It's about fundamentally rewiring how you lead from the inside out. So they introduce this core idea, the outer game versus the inner game. A good way to think about it is like an iceberg. The outer game is the tip everyone sees, your actions, your decisions, your presentations. But the source argues that real, lasting influence comes from the massive part hidden below the water, the inner game. This is all about mastering your own mindset, your self-awareness, so you can persuade and lead effectively, even if you don't have the official title. And one of the biggest things that comes from mastering this inner game is what's called executive presence. This isn't just about being the boss. It's that quality, that ability to project authority, credibility, and trust before you even say a single word. It's about having nonverbal command of a room. So how do you actually build this presence? Well, it comes down to really specific nonverbal cues. It's about using strategic body language to own the room. It's using silence, not as an awkward pause, but as a tool to add weight to your words. And this is so crucial now. It's about mastering the virtual world, sustaining eye contact with the camera, not the screen, and using intentional hand gestures that people can actually see. Okay, so that brings us to the actual solution. After diagnosing the problem and its root cause, the source lays out a very specific set of skills, a toolkit really, that's designed to turn leaders into incredibly effective persuaders. And this toolkit is basically a four-step process. It all starts with message architecture, learning how to structure your ideas for the biggest possible impact. Then you wrap that structure in powerful storytelling to build a real emotional connection. The third piece is insight generation, which is all about taking complex information and boiling it down into clear, actionable advice. And finally, audience adaptation, making sure your message lands perfectly, whether you're talking to a techie or the CEO. And let's be super clear, these tools aren't for your everyday small talk. They are designed for leadership under pressure. We're talking about those career-defining moments, navigating a really difficult conversation, having to give a key update with zero prep time, or leading your team through a full-blown crisis. This is all about performance when the stakes are at their absolute highest. Okay, so we've got the problem and we've got the proposed solution. But how do you actually justify the investment? This next part is all about taking communication, something that's often dismissed as a soft skill, and turning it into a hard financial asset. And this one statistic is pretty much the anchor of the whole financial argument. The source points to a survey of leadership experts that shows a 7-to-1 return on investment. That means for every single dollar a company spent on this type of development, they reported getting $7 back. A data point like that completely reframes the entire conversation. This isn't an expense anymore, it's a strategic profit driver. And this visual just makes that return undeniable, doesn't it? When you see that $1 investment right next to the $7 return, the value proposition becomes instant. It's a dead simple chart with an incredibly powerful financial message. And to add even more credibility, the source shows that these benefits are felt throughout the entire organization. The C-suite sees better project efficiency, VPs get more collaboration between their teams, and directors find that their people are better prepared for advancement. It's not just some siloed benefit, it's a systemic upgrade for the whole company.
The source also leverages a really powerful psychological tool, social proof. It highlights how seeing logos from big, well-known clients can dramatically increase trust and, well, sales. The message underneath is pretty simple. You'll be in good company. You're following a path that's already been proven to work by other successful leaders.
So let's pull all these threads together in our final section. This is really about taking this whole argument and reframing the very idea of what communication even is in the business world. This final slide just nails the entire argument using a classic psychological trick, the contrast principle. On the left, you've got the current state of pain, confused messages, ideas that go nowhere, stress. And on the right, you see the promised future, persuasive ideas, a confident presence, and trust that's built fast. It's the ultimate before and after picture that perfectly sums up the whole transformation. So, if we had to boil this entire analysis down to just one single sentence, it would be this. The source makes a compelling case that we need to completely reframe how we think about communication. We have to stop seeing it as a fuzzy, soft skill and start treating it for what it is, a manageable, strategic business asset that has a quantifiable and incredibly high-yield return. And that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. The entire argument we've walked through hinges on putting a number on something that feels abstract. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. When you give a soft skill a hard number, does it fundamentally change its value? Thanks for watching.